how did that, obviously you, how did that come about, and what did writing that book entail?
So that book was written with Susie Bird and published by her parents and brothers publishing company, Cinco Puntos Press, located here in El Paso. And it really answered the challenge that we were given by people who said, look, Beto, Susie, you complain that bad, well-intentioned laws are made out of D.C., out of ignorance of conditions on the border. So we passed these great anti-drug laws, and then they disproportionately impact communities like El Paso and Juarez. They in part contributed to the bloodshed and the mayhem and the impunity that we saw in Juarez. So are you going to keep bitching about this, or are you going to share your perspective with the people who are making these decisions? And out of that challenge, we wrote this book, Dealing Death and Drugs, and tried to, by using the facts and the numbers and the data, show what happens despite our best intentions when we simply pursue drug control through a prohibitionary posture, through an interdictionary posture, through an enforcement-only posture, instead of looking at demand, instead of looking at models that have worked in other parts of the country or other parts of the world. And so that book lays out the facts and the public policy case to do something a little bit more logical than this very well-intentioned but epically failed experiment, the war on drugs, that we have been losing for the last 50 years. And I say that we have lost that despite having absolutely phenomenal law enforcement, federal, county, local, who in many cases have given their lives to try to reduce drug flows into this country. And so it's a difficult thing in many ways because of that to talk about it, but the worst thing would be to continue doing something the same way 45 years later expecting a different result. The best thing is to acknowledge where it has not worked and try those things that have been modeled to work in other places, and that's what we're advocating for.